How's it going, ScrubGamers? Welcome back to another video here at ScrubGames, and again another tournament report, given that I've been to at least now 3 of the events, because this is one for the UK Cardiff Fest event. But before we go into the deck list of the deck I played, which is Mono Black Skillless Kidku, I do want to go on a little bit of a rant about like how the event was run, because it was run so badly, so poorly, that I just left a bad taste in everybody's mouth, and a lot of people ended leaving the event like very pissed off and not happy with how it was run. So like it was a very badly run event. Like I think the only thing they got right, which was still wrong and even then, was the participation giving out. So they did give out the participation, and normally it was meant to be you get one of the participation pack, 2 event vault pack, 2 of the unison pack, and then 1 event pack 8 and 1 event pack 9. But they didn't do that, which was a benefit, but still didn't. This all just shows how wrong they did it all. They ended up giving like a playset of each of the participation vault and unison pack, and then 3 event pack 9, because we only got about 48 players for it, which was expected because not a lot of people want to travel very far for it. It's the first events, and during COVID, a lot of players did drop the game. So that was the only benefit really of the event, that they gave out like made sure everybody came along, just in case it was their first event they've been to, which was definitely one for the Welsh players. They made sure that everybody got a playset of all the packs, which is good, but the rest of the event was run so poorly. So like most of the events, they all ran at like started around about 11 normally, and followed Bandai's the structure. Like all of them, in the beginning, no one really knew exactly how they wanted to be played, because Bandai didn't really communicate properly how it was meant to be played, and their posts were vague, because it seemed like it was just best of one, but they were seemed to test the best of one for certain events and not for others. And because ours are all capped at 128 players, on the thing it said that they're testing it for 60 players, 256 players plus. They're testing the best of one pre-sided. So all of them were waiting for confirmation from Bandai to find out how to run it. And then all TOs got the information about it needs to be best of one pre-side, 30-minute rounds, blah blah blah. So all of the fests went ahead and changed their things to make sure they followed that, all followed the same thing, even Cardiff. And then going to all the other fest events like Leeds and Nottingham, they followed the events how they meant to do, which is pretty good. Like we did have Leeds do all 7 rounds, and then Nottingham do until one undefeated, but at least that's following the proper rules. With Cardiff though, they didn't fucking follow any rules at all. So we started late at 1 o'clock. So 1 o'clock in the afternoon, we started the round, and people were getting there for like 9, 10 when it opened. So I have to wait forever just to start the game, like start the tournament on a Sunday and on Mother's Day as well. And as well as that, the time rules weren't followed properly either. Like you're meant to, at the start for the game, you're meant to be given at the start of the game, they're meant to announce, right, you got here like you start the round. You got now have 1 minute to do your pre-siding, so you can then do your siding if you need to do it before the game. So your show leaders start to do your siding. Then after that 1 minute's up, then they're meant to say, like do an announcement, say the 1 minute's up. Now you can start your game. You can start your round. You have 30 minutes to do so, and then give people the countdown of the 30 minutes to play their game out. Then once it's over, they then announce that it's time, and let people know they've got 5 minutes left to play the three turns after the current turn left of time. And then after the 5 minutes, they're meant to announce that time is over, and that's the end of the round, and then go around and basically just end up finishing the end of time procedures for anybody who still hasn't played to determine who wins. They didn't fucking do that at all. No, they didn't even like. I barely heard any announcements throughout the day when rounds started. I didn't hear when the pairings were up, when the rounds were starting, when time was cool, when time was over. No announcements at all. Anything. It's just sit down and they just give you 35 minutes to do everything. The pre-side, play your game, time and everything, and then announce it until like it was over, and then just went around to people after 35 minutes going, time's ended. That's it, done. No announcement at all. So people were unaware when the pre-siding. It was a complete shambles, and then nobody knew when the time was. When the time was, like if they said it was done, they didn't know if it was the end of the round to start time or end of time. Nobody really knew. And not only that, but in between rounds we had like a massive like lack of time between rounds. That's why. So it ended up starting at 1 o'clock and didn't finish the finals until like 10 o'clock in the evening. So it took so long, and that's because they were doing like, and it was only 4 fucking rounds as well. 4 rounds, 48 players, which I'll get into in a bit. But they had like, it was almost like between 30 minutes to like an hour almost between each round, waiting to start the next round, getting the results and stuff, like sorted it. And there wasn't that many people to get the results from. Like they had judges there to grab the results and stuff. But it was just run so bad. Like it just took so long that most people just, and even people that came up from, because there's like a big group of people, especially because one lot of group of people that came down from the up north, like around Leeds, Nottingham area, and they came all the way down, and that one of their buddies got into the finals, and they had to wait for him to finish because you're not going to pull your friend out the finals when they got a chance to win, and they had to wait for him before going back, and they didn't end up leaving the place until 10 o'clock to get, and they had to travel like a good few 3 hours, I think, or at least travelling up north back, which was ridiculous to finish at that time for an event that was best of 1 pre-side. That only had 7 rounds total, where the rounds were like 30 minutes. It was just ridiculous. And then with the rounds as well, they only did 4 rounds starting at 1 o'clock with a break after the first round, and that left at least after four rounds 3 fucking undefeateds and then 12 X1s, and they decided to cut off there. So that meant that all three, like, still 3 undefeated, which another round could have just put it down to 1 undefeated, which would have been fair enough. But then it meant that there was 7 X1s who only lost 1 game that missed out on top cut just because they failed to do the actual proper amount of rounds to determine a proper, like, until they go to the actual rules of 1 undefeated. So there's two sets of how to play around. It's either play the full amount of rounds, which in this case would have been like at least 5 or 6, or play until there's 1 undefeated. They didn't follow either that and just went a full 4 rounds because they didn't have enough time because they started so fucking late. It was just ridiculous. So like 7 X1s, including myself, lost out just because they didn't do lack of rounds. And then they did top 8 as well. They did top 8, but they did top 8 as a best of 3, so completely diverging from the fact that it's a whole best of 1 event for the whole thing. They did the top cut different to the rest of the UK events, doing top cut as best of 3, which took even more time and gave them more, like a lot more time for it, which just threw people off because it's supposed to be just a best of 1 pre-side event for the whole thing, not split into a different top cut. So they got, like the rest of the TOs, they got all the information from Bandit about how it's meant to be run, and didn't run it at all the same, which is ridiculous. And then, yeah, so a lot of people walked away angry about how the fact that they didn't run enough events, and it's no fault to the judges or anything. It was just down to the fucking TO who didn't even show up properly, just left instructions of how to run it wrong. And the person who was there even playing, running it as a TO, wasn't even paying much attention. He was just playing games on the PC in between rounds, stuff, not even like running it properly. And even like there was even like a shout to Elliot, one of the judges from Cardiff, really nice person, really nice guy, good judge as well. And he was just feeling so bad, just going to apologise to people because he couldn't do anything, because he could argue. He also didn't agree with how it's been run, but he couldn't argue the fact and couldn't do anything about it because it's down to the TO. And he was just running around apologising to people, which he didn't need to do because it wasn't his fault. And there was no faults to any players. No players did anything wrong. No judges did anything wrong. It's just down to the fucking TO, who shouldn't really be running events if they're going to run it that bad after getting confirmation from Bandai and run it completely different to the rest of the events. Just absolute shambles of events. But then still, don't take it anything away from the players top. They did well. But none of the players that made top 8 did anything wrong. They all deserved it. They released XO or X1, so they still got the criteria to go. They did very well to get into the top 8. But then it kind of dampers a little bit of their achievements because of how badly the event was wrong. But also shout out to my buddy Ollie on our team for taking the old event with Blue Bojack, which you'll hopefully see on his channel. I'll never report by him about the event, but how he did well, because he's just basically killing with Blue Bojack. But that's enough for my rant. So, you could skip to this. I don't know if I could put a little thing, skip my rant if you don't want to hear my rant, but it's just a fucking shit event. And normally they've had good events for every card games, even for Dragon Ball, but they just seem to like they just wanted to fuck up everybody's day on a nice, lovely sunny Sunday as well. But anyway, so I went to the event, and after winning Nottingham and Leeds, with I wanted to put a whole kind of thing with these events. I thought the first events is really good participation, worth going. It's in person again, socializing. So I was like, I want to play, but I don't want to play the same deck for everyone every event, because that seems a bit boring just to play the same deck over and over again. I want to play something different because I do enjoy playing different decks. So with Leeds, I took Android 18 because I felt that was a safer choice, because I haven't played in person or played the game for quite a while in person, or like just playing with the cards, mini tasting it on chat with streams. So I took it as a safety net, and then ended up winning with that because it's just quite an interactive deck and it had 2 win conditions. It felt very great. And then for Nottingham, I want to change up a deck, and I thought I'll go for a different colour. I'll go for Jiren because I felt like it was a good choice, and also the fact that with Jiren as well, you can be very aggressive, and I felt like a lot of people weren't prepared for how aggressive decks can be. And Jiren can pump out a lot of pressure very early, and it's great. And I ended up taking the event with that as well, just doing that strategy, being aggressive and just not stopping. And then after doing that, I thought I've now won 2 with different decks and different colours. I want to keep that up. So for Cardiff, I wanted to go for a different deck than those 2. Well, one I couldn't play because Android 18 got ratted to Oblivion. That doesn't exist anymore. And I thought I'd go for a different colour as well. So my choices were either green, yellow, or black for a deck. Now, for green, I didn't really want to go for green because green is the worst, at the moment, the worst colour in the game. It's very lackluster compared to the other colours, like how they can achieve in the decks they have in their colours. And the only real green deck I feel that's great is King Cold. Like, people would argue that there's green contents or there's still hand destruction and stuff like OG Broly. Like, I did like OG Broly, but from my testing it was pretty. It just got slapped around a bit. And green contents, but green contents is a bit lackluster. Like, it's too old, and it does some strong things, but not near enough as good as it used to be. And King Cold is probably the best green deck, and I've got a lot of experience in it, but I've already played enough of that. And I feel it's got some bad matches, especially against like things like in red. And I expect it to be after the last Nottingham event, and after seeing the results of London, there might be quite a bit of red. So I thought I'm not going to go through that, even though I'm well versed in King Cold and confident with it. I'll go for something different. And for yellow, I don't like the yellow Trunks deck. I feel like it seems quite boring. It's quite linear in how it plays, and it's easy. Like, its plays are easily baited around. Like with the Trunks, you can easily bait the Trunks out before you go for your big play, and it just seems too slow. And like, I feel like in the best of one, where you only got 30 minutes, sometimes people can play quite slowly. I don't want to go for it, especially with blue. Like, it's hard. Like, blue can be quite defensive, and the only real decks I like playing in yellow was really the yellow Jiren deck, which I was confident in, but then I didn't feel like it'd be a good fit for it. And then with Wisamasu, but after my test of Wisamasu, just gets hard. Like, it's really easy. Its main play is getting the Aegis Zamasu out, and that's more easily removable in any color apart from really in green. So I thought I'll not go for that, and and then for black, there's quite a few interesting things. There's the Super Saiyan, the SSG Trunks, which I feel like Gogeta Zeno is a bit better, and then it's Gogeta Zeno and which is really strong. But I've already played that, done that, and I wasn't really. I've just lost interest in Gogeta Zeno, even though Gogeta is one of my favorite characters. And then in the meantime, I was having some discussion with my buddy Dav from the previous events, and he was saying about how he was thinking about playing Kidku instead of Gogeta, but he couldn't get all the stuff for it, and that was something that I was looking to build for fun. So we started discussing it build, and I started testing it because I thought it'd be fun, because it's Kidku, it can gain quite a bit of advantage, and I feel you can be quite aggressive with it, and I want to do something similar to Jiren to be really aggressive. So I started testing it, and have very good results, and I thought I'll go for this because it's a different deck. It's a rogue deck people not expect, and it can be very, very strong. Like, keep a good hand size, good life count, and still it's very cheap bodies on board, so you can aggress really quickly, really hard, and it won't take you many resources to rebuild the board if it's taken down. So I decided to go for Kidku, and ended up performing quite well. It ended up X1, only losing to my buddy Ollie, who ended up coming first in Swiss and then winning the event, and ended up 10th place, just missing out on top cut because yeah, the lack of rounds to get a proper top cut, and just overall badly run event. But yeah, I really enjoyed it, and here is my list. I'm not going to do the content creator review for it because I'm just going to put it in there and discuss about it over time. And so, just in case you haven't played the game back before, Unison 1 blocks, I know we get newer players, like I've been playing recently, and not everybody's been playing as long as like myself and others have. So with Kidku, it's one back from all the way to 6-6, and it's like the first true skillless deck. Because it's a leader that has it's got a permanent that allows you to awaken at 6 or less life if you've got a skillless battle card in your drop area, which you can very easily trigger, and it allows you to awaken at a higher life total and get your awaken to get like stronger effects. And it's got a built-in draw, which is nice when you go first if you can't attack, because you don't need to, like some leaders, attack to draw a card. Because it's got an activate main where you reveal the 4-star ball, because it's all around the 4-star ball because it's around Goku, and then you draw a card and gain 5k for the turn. So not only do you get your draw, but also if your leader gets awakened earlier, you're not stuck at 10k and have to combo up. You don't become a 15k, so you don't have to worry if you're on your unawakened side to put pressure against the awakened leader. And then its awaken is just a mid-range awaken of untap 1, draw 1. And then when you do flip over, you still have that activate main the draw, but this time you still did the whole thing of revealing the 4-star ball in your hand, but now you draw 2 and discard 1, so that means you're easily able to drop things in the drop that you want to, which is very, very good for this, and also draw 2 cards to go through so you can deck fin a lot quicker. And it's also now got a nice auto, which the first time you combo with a skillless battle card, it gains 5k combo power for the turn, meaning the first skillless battle card you combo with gives you 10k combo instead of 5, which is fantastic, which means you've got a lot of combo power in this, and a lot of your swings can go between the 15 to 20 range very, very easily. So with the package, to make sure I get this 4-star ball that enabled my draw leader, I have 5 of the 4-star ball and 4 of the 1-drop Goku that allows you to once per turn search for a ball from your deck or drop. So this has meant that I was very rarely going to whiff and not find the 4-star ball to get my draw going, because I can either find find either one of these. If I find the ball, I'll keep hold of it. If I find the 1-drop, I'll keep all of that instead of the ball. If I find both, I'll put the ball back but keep the 1-drop, because I can just tap 1, use the effect, find the ball, reveal the ball for the lead, draw 1, and keep going like that. And over time, the longer this stays, the more balls I get, and I can even use this to combo 5k and then grow it back. So I got free combo power in a sense. And then to make use of the skillless engine, there's 2 main cards that allowed me to get my skills out. So we play the Goku Zeno and Vegeta Zeno, so we can have access to the Gogeta stuff, because that's Union Fusion for it, and this is a very nice engine to use. And the way to get these skillless out is with Saiyan Science, which is the unison of choice, well the first unison of choice, the main unison for the deck, which allows you to spam unisons, and this is very great early, because when your opponent's leader's on 10k power, you can aggress very quickly, forcing them either to take the hits or combo out cards, which mean they're losing card for just a combo out of early swings. By playing this swing for 10k, using its -1, which allows you to play 2 skillless cards from your energy cost of 1 from your deck or drop area, and shuffle your deck to look through it. You play this with just 1 marker, swing with it at 10k, then you -1 to bring out 2 skillless, swing with those 2 at 2 10ks, and then you lead at 15k, or 10k if you don't see the ball. And that's 4 swings, like really easy. Just turn for 1 energy, you can use a pressure leader, meaning that either go down to 4 or combo cards out to stop from going down to 4, which normally you want to go down to 4 to awaken for most decks. And the good thing is, like, even the 4-star ball can allow you to make these as the whole thing, where you can use it as 5k power boost for a battle. But if it's skillless, it gives you a 10k boost for the battle, meaning these skillless cards can become 20k with a ball. So for very little energy, you can make a 20k swings, which is very powerful. And the other card that brings them out is the Goku and Android 8 Bonds of Battle, and this is our way to take our life down if we need be, because if you get 6 energy, because you can awaken at 6 life, but you need to get down to 4 to unlock your super combos to be able to have them live, which you don't need the super combos, but if you get down to put super combos, then they are live and you've got that even more combo power. And for this card, it does have a really nice permanent as well. It helps out where this card and skills battle cards in your battle area can use in combo and rest modes. It means after they swung, they can still be used to power other attacks, which is fantastic. And its effect is if your leader card is a Black Sun Goku Childhood, which our leader is. When it's played, you add up to one card from your life to your hand, play 2 skills battle cards with 10k power from your deck or drop area, and shuffle them. So it does the same thing as the Unison's -1, but it's at 2 cost 15k. That also allows you to take a card from life to help you get down to 6 if your opponent influence attacked you once, or even get further down to 4, or even to 5 so you can have your token negate ready. And allow you to put even more pressure in Unison by swing with this, swing with a skillless, then swing with another skillless, combo off the skillless you just swung with, and just keep attacking with multiple things, and combo off the last thing you attacked with to keep because that way, if you bring 2 of these out, you swing with the Goku, that's 10k. Well, your leader's unawakened, that's 10k to either take it or waste time combo out. Then you swing with the Vegeta, combo off the Goku you just swung with, that's 15. And then swing with the Android 8, combo off the Vegeta, that's 20. And then swing with the leader, coming off this, that's 20k. So you just keep comboing off the swing, and you don't care about losing the battle area for that, because you're pressuring hard and pressuring more combo, making them waste more cards taking the hits. And all the while, it's not really cost you much, because you've paid 2 energy for it, but you're getting all these swings pushing them down, and you can still awaken on your turn. This is how you can awaken on your turn 2, and then most of your play. That's the most expensive play in the deck, which is just this 2 energy for this, because these Unisons are just 1 energy. So that's the main core. That's the main skillless core of the deck. About how to spam those. And as I said, these 2 are here because you can add the Gogeta package. So you've got the barrier removal and Gogeta Fearless. So as I keep always saying in my deck profiles and reports and stuff, every deck needs barrier removal, because there's some cards that have barrier that are very irritating. You want to get rid of them. And this Gogeta Fearless Fusion is really good, and you just Union Fusion it in, and it's by just putting back the Goku and Vegeta from your warp to your drop to Union Fusion instead of discarding from your hand. And it's got blocker, which could be helpful if you need to defend. And it's just 16k, which is out of the range of those like 15k or less, blah blah blah. And it's got the nice auto. When it's played, you can choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards with energy cost of 4 or less, ignoring barrier, and warp it. So that gives you the warping removal, warping barrier removal, which is great. And it only costs 1 energy, which is fantastic. So not only do you get a card you can swing with, you also get barrier removal, and you put these back ready for your overrun. And the Gogeta, nothing really more to say about Gogeta forting. The fact that you can do the same as you would play the Fearless, but now you can attack and then warps, I think, when you swing with this, and threat 25k double strike really easily. And at any point with just 1 energy by putting those 2 back. It even has an overrun 6, which is sometimes useful, where it's just say if you can't find your Trunks time regulator but you want to overrun to get these out, you can always overrun this in for 1 energy, so same amount of energy, just 1 black energy to overrun this in. And it's not that difficult to get 6 cards of energy, and you can warp the stuff in your drop, play this, and then still get the power out of it. And then now, even though this won't stay on the field because it's overrun, next turn you can always put these 2 back to get the another one out, and just keep applying pressure. So having that overrun sometimes is helpful if you can't find your Trunks overrun to overrun your drop. And the overrun choice, as I said, was Trunks time regulator, just because it's only overrun 3, which is fantastic. So you need your 3 cards in drop, which is 2 skillless and any other card, and which could be the Unison as well, like the Silence, which is helpful. And it's also when you play this card using overrun, you draw 2 cards, then choose 1 card in your hand and warp it, and that is really, really handy, because it can help you warp either the Pycon or the Stream Card Time if you've got them in your hand, to get them in your warp ready to use that combo to help with your skillless and boost them up. Because getting into it now, these were the 2 tech choices I went for that were the more flexible side and slots. So normally when I was siding, it would be these 6 come out, and whatever was some cards that I would need in my side to put in my main would come in. So the Stream Card Time, which is usable with this, because its requirement is you need your leader card to be a black Saiyan only card, and as the cost, also place this card on the bottom of your deck from your warp, and then you can, if you don't have a Unison play, you can play your Pycon here. And this Pycon's really handy. Even it can't attack unless it's got 3 markers or more on, which is not the issue really. But it's more +1, which is choose 2 of your black battle cards with energy cost of 1, and they get 10k power until the end of your opponent's next turn, which is really great because you can get 2 of these 2 out really easy with either the sign unison, which then gets stuff off the board to allow you to play this, or the Android 8. And making these to 20k is great for a pressure on your opponent's turn, and in your turn to just apply pressure by swinging. And then they're now 20k still for your opponent's turn, means if they want to run over them, they're going to have a harder time because they're now 20k base. And if you get another copy in your hand as well, you can then put, if you bring this out, you can +1, put the 2 markers, boost these up. And then if you've got another copy in your hand, put under that and hit a 3 marker so you can at least swing with it. And if this isn't dealt with after that, if you've got one of these Gojitas in your warp that you don't, and you have one on board, just -3 to bring it back so you can then play another unison without worrying about this being wasted. So it's got very much utility. I might change these up to try other things, because I think I'm still working on this, but I found this mostly always sided out and didn't come up as much. It's only if like it's best of 3. I felt these would, if it was best of 3, these would be good in the main to have like as extra power pushes. But I think I might change these 6 slots if I were to change the deck. Then a super combo being the Vegeta super combo from set 11. Easy, one of the best set super combos, just allow you to give you 10k combo power and then put a card from your hand back that's dead that you don't want. So if you want combo power and you don't want your unison, or you want one of these skills back in your deck to bring up from your deck, put them back, draw 2, fantastic. And then we got 3 of the support of Dark Empire, because the token negates are all the rage now for the negates, more over than the sparking negates, because they can help almost definitely defend 2 attacks. And this one's good because the token has combo power, so if you don't use it as a blocker, you at least have it as a combo, as a free 5k combo for one of your next attacks. And then the secret rare choice being the last card in the deck in the list, being Pan. This is just fantastic, being like, if Baby Hatch, you think about how Baby Hatch is so good in the fact it could just end the turn, first turn just end the turn. This almost is the same thing, it's like a pseudo Baby Hatch in the fact that once you get the free energy, you can negate the first attack, and then for that whole turn, your opponent can't attack with battle cards for the rest of the turn. Doesn't negate the attack, but prevents battle cards from for the rest of that turn. And that's only the defensive capabilities of that. You can still play this offensively, which is fantastic because it's permanent, which allows you to play it for free as a counter attack. Is for each battle card in play, you reduce the energy cost of this card in your hand by 2. And considering the fact you can swarm the board with skillless 1 drops, the overarm, the Gojitas and stuff, you can easily get 4 cards on board yourself to be able to drop this stem for free as a 40k swing, which you can easily get your opponent down to 1 and drop this swing and put everything into it to just finish them off. And then it has a nice ability where for 1 energy you can remove this card from the game while it's on board and take one of your opponent's cards, which is great. If they got something you want to steal, if your opponent drops their pan, you can use your pan to steal their pan, and then use their pan to then steal something else, which is, it can come up. But that's main list, and as I said, it's just the only spots then probably will change to try out different things will be the Pycon and Kai, because they just win more and just extra things that aren't necessary. Like sometimes if you have both of them in your hand or a way to warp them both, you normally just charge them as your easy charge. And then for the side deck, I went for a wide variety of things to help out. So we had 2 Quetzalcoatl to help deal with things like King Piccolo and Bojack and stuff, things that play stuff for free on their turn. Because you can easily just tap 1 because your plays don't cost that much. Tap 1, then help fix your hand a little bit as well, and then just keep. And if you've got a board, you can easily drop loads of stuff. Just keep aggressing them hard, and if they want to play stuff in 20k or less to help do stuff, then you're punishing them for that. Then we have 2 Sun Gohan changing history, because black doesn't have black just has one of these like all the other colours do, but black doesn't have one of the other ones which make it so on their turn if they want to untap energy they can't, they get punished for it. So we went for this because his Barret is cantrip and just against decks when it, like mainly against blue decks where if they're using D magic and stuff like that, just out punish them while you're just constantly hitting them down. And then we have 2 petrification, because every black deck needs petrification. If it's not mained, it should be sided, and considering it's best of 1 pre-side, you just want to put in your side to make, because you can easily side it if you need be. And the fact it's one of the, I think the only card now that stops pending autos, because since Fu Shroud is banned, and that's just great for it. It is one of the best things to freeze up, but it's also nice now when anything attacks. Even if your leader attacks, you've got something else you want to shut down, just negate the attack and then choosing something that's in your battle area. Discarding a card to shut these skills off, make it can be comboed attack or be used in any way really. It's just great. Then we have Meki to deal with very plain strategies like easy obvious strategies like Broly BR and things like that do the same play over and over again, like even Gogeta Zeno, to help deal with that. Do a Super Kamehameha as our counter play, because even though we can't easily get them to turn the 4 life, but if we can, we're anchored down, we want to help stop things like Top of Flub, get Oceanus and stuff. We do put in the 2 Super Kamehameha to help deal with it, because the great thing is here, where there's no other cards apart from black cards, you can easily take a life then to play it for free to deal with things like Floodgate Negates. Then we have Dark Power Black Mass in to help deal with things that just play stuff without using keyword skills that are 15k or less. So we got this to help deal with it, and also there's another way to help Self Awaken if you need be, because we don't play the ever 1-drop Goku and Vegeta Zenos to help deal with it. And this is just utility and maybe be mained, but not sure yet. Then we have Max Power Kamehameha. This is a really nice one, and I started off them because the fact that sometimes you will be without an Overwhelm to help warp your Gogeta and Vegetas from your drop to allow you to play Gogeta Zeno using its Union Fusion. And this is really handy because it could be used as a negate and help do what the Overwhelm's there to do, which is warp your drop. Because you can negate the attack, then you can warp up the 4 cards from your drop area to add it back to your hand, allowing you to warp the Gogeta and Goku in your drop, plus 2 other cards, to get it back to hand, so you've still got to use again either as for its activate main or a counter again next turn. And then also have that set up next turn so you can drop your Gogeta, which is fantastic. And it's also removal because every colour got a Realm of the Gods card, which allows you to, on your turn, deal with things that are higher than your opponent's energy for a certain means while giving 10k power, or defensively gain 10k and either draw or do something for that thing. And for black it was draw a card and mill free. That isn't relevant, and having to get to the battle isn't always the best thing. Having to actually get an attack go through without being negated to trigger that, I thought that wasn't great, and I don't need to worry about milling for the defensive side. So I went for Max Power Kamehameha because the fact it can help do what Overwhelm's going to do to help warp my Goku and Vegeta, while also having the activate main where I don't have to go in the battle. I can just go, oh, you've got something that's higher than the energy cost, play this, get rid of it, and be done with it. And just, yeah, be handy as a negate that can then be used the next turn as a removal. And then we have Secret Identity Mass Edge, is helpful extra Overwhelm to put in for your opponent if you come up to a deck where people spam the board with multiple things, like low cost things. You can then warp them all in and deal with tokens as well in a nice Overwhelm while having 25k beat stick as well. I tried it in quite often, but I was just unlucky not to see it that often either. But that is the main deck. So that is the list. Normally, as I said, it would be always siding out the 3 Pycons, Unisons, and the Supreme Kai out, just the flex spots. And then normally, most of the time, I sided in the Quartz Kai, Petrification, and either Super Kamehameha or Dark Power Black Masae, depending on what it came up to. But it's normally decided no 6 for 6 here, because even if you didn't need all 6, some of these would be more useful than just having 1 or 2 copies of this in your deck. But that's it was just to have that flex spots. And with my matchups, so round 1 started at 1 o'clock, and that wasn't great. And I got paired up against my teammate and eventual winner of the event, Ollie, bigger notation, who was playing Blue Bojack. And Blue Bojack is not a great matchup for this, because of the fact that they can easily combo like very easily for free from their energy with the Bojack's effect, like comboing on Zangief to then out combo the 15k out one of my 10k swings, and also allow them to draw off that. And not only doing that whole comboing for free out of my effects by using their energy, out of my swings using their energy, they also have beans as well to help. Is blue, it has beans to help make it harder for you to like just aggro them harder. And also they have multiple battle cards they can play in for cheap to bounce my cards. So they've got the 3-drop Goku, which can come in and spin my skillness cards, which is annoying. Like if I pump them up to 20, they out combo one of the swings and bounce the other one. And even the other Bojack, which say if I got Gogeta or something on board, they can play that and bounce the other card, just allowing them to out combo at one swing and then remove the other swing I could have afterwards, which was difficult to deal with. And I think in the game as well, I saw all 4 beans to make it even harder to push through and try and kill him, because I got him down to 3, but then just couldn't push it further, and then finished me off after I tried to push through 2 beans and couldn't defend myself, because Blue Boda can play cards on your turn, and then build a board on your turn and clap you back the turn after. So I ended up with, that was my first loss, and my first and only loss in the event, and that put me down to play against on the lower tables then. So for round 2 I ended up going against a Zedo Shenron deck, the mill deck, and that wasn't too bad. Starting off, I think I managed to win the die roll and ended up going first, just doing the whole reroll ball, play the silence to get 2 skillless out, so I have them ready. And then he had to swing with me to get his draw. Then my turn is played Android 8 for 2, take a life to go down 6 so I can awaken, bring it 2 more skillless, and just keep pushing with skillless, because he only had 1 energy open. Just keep pushing down with the skills, keep swinging at him, and I think in the end, even dropping Gogeta, Zeno, and Trunks, and just overall doing my big play, I was able to put him down to 2, but then I couldn't get him down to finish him off until like about 4 or 5 turns later, because after once he hits turn 2, every turn it was Oceanus, 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 stop. And I think in one of the Oceanus, I think the 3rd Oceanus, I managed to eventually find my Super Kamehameha, get low enough to use my Super Kamehameha and stop the Oceanus from coming out, so he still negate the attack, but he didn't put that Oceanus floodgate on in effect. But then he was able to, on the next attack, use his leader's effect, use its activate main / battle, take a mark off Unison to play his Ice Raise extra card, meaning I had only 1 more attack that turn after that swing, which meant even though I stopped the Oceanus from floodgating me, I still got floodgated anyway. And then at the end, I managed to like just push through. I managed to get a secret to tap down a load of my stuff. Managed to stop it, get rid of it, push through, and then when I got him down to 1, swung with a skillness, put everything into it, up to like 55, and he wasn't able to combo out, and I was just 1 card off him being able to mill me out, so he only managed to get me down to 1 card left in deck, but couldn't out combo the swing, and I ended up taking it. So that was a scary thing, seeing that, because my deck can draw quite a lot, but it's just having to deal over and over again, having to wait to get through all these Oceanus. It just took so long, and he was just focusing on deck out and not trying to kill me. And that's how it put me on 1 win, 1 loss. And then next round I play against the use of Goku, I think I can't remember his name, it's someone that goes to the Bristol locals. And he's playing U7 Goku, so once again did the same kind of thing, just keep hitting hard, which he was coming out a lot of early swings to keep it high life. So he was losing cards from hand rather than just keep these up, getting down to a certain amount, like 4 life enough, and then aggro back. So he was just out combo necessary for low attacks, using most of his super combos to defend as well. And then when he got to his turn 4, he decided to drop hit. No, I think he got to his turn 5, because before his turn 4, I played my Mechibura, I sided in to stop him from playing his Goku to wipe my board and then try and attack and stuff. And get pressure him down, got him down to 3 life. And he on his turn 5, he decided to drop his secret rare and not really do anything much with it, just drop the secret rare, not attack with it because I had energy open, and he was fearful about petrification because he played against a black that the turn before and had that dropped on him. So he decided to just play a secret rare while I was at 4 life and then just warp it, just get rid of it to warp my board, which wasn't much, and it's very easy to re-establish, to then hit a life as well. And then with his 1 extra energy, played down to 17, which I was able to use my token negate that I also had in hand to just tap 2 energy, negate 1 swing, use the token to block the other swing, and then, well, I think just, yeah, combat 1 swing, use the token to get on the other swing to get that 5k combo from the token. And then he was tapped out, 3 life, so I managed to just drop my Gogeta, swing at it, which then he uses Vegeta as a Frozen Presence to put it down to 15k while losing 2 cards in hand. So he lost 2 cards in hand while tapped out to make my attacks less powerful. But I was able to drop 2 super combos on it to put it to 35, which he couldn't out combo, double strike, putting down the 1. So I knew his after image would no longer, Edo had no after images, and it depending on what he had in hand, which I knew was 1 super combo. So I just swung with my, lead, and then comboed everything into up to I think 40k 5k, I think it might have been, and he just didn't have enough combo power. He's 5k off, being able to, I think 5 or 10k off, trying to out combo it, and I ended up taking it. I even tried to explain to him after, like, it was a bit pointless to drop the secret rare, just wipe my board when I can establish it, when you can just do Goku instead, to remove it and put pressure on me. And even if I had energy open for a petrification, using Goku on it still gets from my board, baits out the petrification, which will cost 2 cards, including negate, to stop it. And then you have a secret rare to try and finish me off the next turn. So I feel like a waste of just using the secret rare just to wipe my board, which Goku could do, and hit me in life. But then mean I have no more fear of his secret rare being able to kill me if I got myself down to 1, which is the whole scary thing about the secret rare for U7. So that put me on 2-1, and for the last round, because it wasn't until after this round then we found out it was going to be 4 rounds, meaning that all the X1s would have to hope to get in top cut on luck. So I decided to, since there was still a bit of luck that can go into getting into top 8, I decided to still play the last round, and going against my other teammate Sam, playing Caller Mill. And this was a game where we just, yeah, I think he did. I don't think he expected how aggro the deck could be. And I just went into his turn, kept pushing, pressuring down, and he kept trying to control my board and mill. And it came to before the last turn, his last turn of the game, he'd dropped his Jiren to try and pressure a bit as well, and then used a few beans to get himself from 1 energy up to 3. But instead of holding him off for an Oceanus, he had to try and go a bit more aggressive, dropping the promo cooler from the champion packs to try and pressure more. And I allowed him to put me all down to 1, combo his last swing, and then that put him as 1 energy open. And while he's on 1 life, I decided to just draw, not charge, and then just swing with lead and put everything into it, because he can't really interact with my leader. Make sure there's nothing on my board, like combo everything I had on board and in hand, to make sure he couldn't like do any more mills or anything interrupt. And because it's the leader, there's no way he could stop that, because he didn't negate it and didn't have a negate for it. I just comboed everything in, and he couldn't out combo it. But he did have as well in hand Oceanus, so he could have. So instead of deciding to, as we were discussing after, he could have just left the energy open and used Oceanus, which would then stop my first attack, which would have been the lead, and I wouldn't have attacked again, because that would have been too costly milling cards, and only having a because I don't think I had a unison, and a battle card is more susceptible being killed by his stuff, and milling more out means I would be more prone to him milling me out. So yeah, unfortunately, he made a misplay there where he should have left the energy open for Oceanus, but instead tried to be aggressive and try to kill me for damage, which led to me to be able to clap him back. So at the end of that, I ended up finishing 3-1, finishing 10th due to tiebreakers, even though I only lost to Ollie, who ended up first in Swiss overall. And yeah, I felt quite nice with this. It's unfortunate I couldn't make it a triple, because I was hoping to get triple talks for 3 different decks in different colours as well. But unfortunately, the dream was cut short due to very bad organisation for Firestorm Games in Cardiff. And but I did enjoy myself testing the deck, and I had a lot of fun playing it. And just keep trying it out and tweaking it as I go, because it's just so much fun and so aggressive. But that is everything from me for today for the tournament report. I will try and also get some games of this deck going up, because I definitely gave some testing that I thought were quite interesting, showing off how the deck functions really well, and me talking about from my plays as I went through it. So I'll get those up. And don't forget on this video to like the video if you enjoyed it. If you like the description, walk through the deck if you like the deck itself. It's something nice and fun that I've built, and I do enjoy it. Like, I've wanted to play this lead for a lot, but I didn't like how the skillless old used to be, having to need certain colours to play, like you got multiple different colour choices for it, and having to worry about 2 different colours. But now you can just go mono black, and it still functions very strong with some very, very powerful plays. So don't forget to like the video if you enjoyed it. Comment down below if you have any changes or any suggestions or any questions about this, or about the event, about the deck, about a tournament report, about anything else. Feel free to make a discussion. And also don't forget to subscribe, because you can keep up to date with my videos as and when they drop by subscribing, and even clicking the notification bell to get alerts for when my videos do drop. And I also do have a giveaway that's currently ongoing that will end at end after the last day of March. So the first of April is when I'll be drawing the results. And all you need for that is to be subscribed to be in a chance to win a premium set of or premium pack of the Realm of the Gods set 16. You have to like the giveaway video, be be subscribed, like the giveaway video, like my Facebook page, and comment on that video with your favorite series, be it game, video, game, anime series, or movie, and you'll be in a chance to win. But once again, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed my rant. It's such a piss poor event now, the Cardiff Fest, especially after going to like 2 other fantastically run events at Dice Cup and Living Realms, and yeah, just screwed me out of trying to get a triple due to a lack of rounds, which I'm still salty to right now if you can't tell. But once again, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.